And we are live. Can everybody see me and can everybody hear me? All right, we look good and sound good on my end. Well, I don't sound good, but it's the best we can do for now. Okay, so Seahawks played a game that wrapped up a little less than 2 hours ago. And was it a terrible game? No. Is the team quitting? No. Did they give themselves a chance to win? Sure. So there's going to be no real fury here. There's going to be no real disgust here. There's not going to be any of that. But at the end of the day, did the team play good? No. Did the team rise to the moment, rise to the occasion? No. They were able to perform semi heroically. They were able to prove that they're not one of the bottom feeders in this league, but it just wasn't quite good enough. Let me tweet this out, by the way. Let me make sure everybody knows that we're good and live. Right. So, 21-13. Our last touchdown was at the end when we were trying a desperate comeback. Not garbage time, but not garbage time either. So, eh. Be calm, see clearly. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for the membership. Thank you for being part of the club. Be calm, see clearly. Oh, let's just break this game down real quick. Seahawks offense is the side of the ball that doesn't perform tonight. They score 13 points and they donate 7 to the 49ers via a Travis Homer fumble. That gives the Niners a 5-yard touchdown drive. I'm not going to kill Homer for it. He was protecting the ball well. Got smashed out by Greenlaw. Good play by him more than anything. Um, Geno played okay. Receivers played all right for the most part, I thought. Kenneth Walker got what he could, which wasn't much. Tackles, I mean, they stayed in the fight against really good competition. My main ire on offense right now is directed towards those interior offensive linemen. Blythe and Jackson in particular just looked terrible, I thought. We'll see what PFF says, but I thought they played terrible. So, bottom line is not good enough. And we got to improve in that area of the team, maybe more than anything else. Be calm, see clearly. Thank you for the $2. So, should I care for the rest of the season? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, we made it this far. You may as well. So yeah, we're playing the best defense in the league, and I can't get that mad at most elements of this offense. Just really Blythe and Jackson. Everyone else, some of them played pretty well. Well, Pigeon, if you would like listen to what I am saying right now, I would tell you exactly whatever. Anyway, so yeah, the offense doesn't play a very good game, but I get it. Defense kind of showed up. Defense played fairly well. I think that this defense gave us a chance to win. They didn't seize the game when they had the opportunity to. There was an opportunity for this defense to say, "Hey, we're going to make a game-changing play with the interception." And Quandre Diggs lets it bounce off his chest. That was a tailor-made interception that would have set us up past midfield, which led to the Travis Homer fumble. So Those two plays right there. That's the game. That's the game. So I don't know what else to say other than that. Not a terrible game. Just kind of a, I don't know, there was something a little lifeless about it. It wasn't bad, it was just kind of lifeless. That's how I would put it. Be calm, see clearly. Thank you for the $2 super chat. So Damian Lewis is a bust or I'm tripping? I think he's played much better this year at left guard compared to previous years. He has regressed as a run blocker, but as a pass protector, he's actually become a much better player, I believe, especially compared to his rookie year when he was kind of a terrible uh, pass blocker. Pass blocker. So no, Damian Lewis is having a good year. I'm not crazy with the way he's been playing the last few weeks, maybe, but overall this year has been a big improvement for him. And that's really all there is to say about this one, guys. I'm going to stream for about an hour tonight because I'm still sick. All my joints hurt. My brain feels like it doesn't work. So I'm going to stream for like an hour and then get out of here. I don't think there are going to be that many people who show up to this thing anyway because right now this season looks about as hopeless as it's looked since it started. So I'm not expecting very many people to show up. It's Thursday night. People have work tomorrow, including me. So I'll be fielding as many questions as I can from the chat during this stream. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. Become a channel member for $2 or $5 a month. We need, I think, like 13 more to meet the channel goal. You can also super chat or tip to support the channel. Again, I've set up special animations for tips of exactly $7, $9, and $10. So if you tip those amounts, a special animation and audio clip will play. I'm going to add more. I would have added more this year. This week, but I was sick. Be calm, see clearly. Thank you for the $5. These primetime games seem Russ like, and it's weird, like Russ just keeps us in these type of games and prolong the inevitable like Thanos snap. Yeah, it's a very familiar feeling with this team right now. I've said it before, I'll say it again. A few years ago, we just kind of put everything on Russ. And either he would do crazy stuff at the end of the game and win, or he wouldn't and we'd lose. Now it's the same. It's just kind of with Geno. We don't do anything well except our passing attack. DK, Lockett, Goodwin, the tight ends. I mean, tonight mostly just Fant. Fant had a really nice, pretty effective game, I think. But it's the same stuff, man. Helio Z, thank you for the $2 super chat. What game made you lose hope and why? I mean, honestly, that Panthers game was a pretty troubling sign, right? Like, when we lost that Panthers game, it became clear that we were going to have to beat somebody good the rest of the season. Did you notice at times Geno didn't look as poised? I swear I saw him shaking until the middle of the third. I mean, he does make a couple of mistakes here and there. Yeah, you do notice that, but that happens to every quarterback, I think. Be calm, see clearly. Thank you for the $2. Shane Waldron or Clint Hurt, two puppets. Waldron's been good this year. All right, Waldron's going to have a top 10 offense with a veteran journeyman quarterback and two rookies at tackle and tons of injuries in the backfield. Like, Waldron's doing a good thing. Clint Hurt might just be inept. Michael, we would have beaten the Panthers if they played like this. That's probably true. We did stop the run better tonight. The defense did play a little bit better tonight. Maybe you could even say the defense played good tonight. You're probably right. It's not a good reflection of this coaching staff. They couldn't get them up for that game. And then they get them up for this game, but it's just not enough because the team just isn't good enough. I have had enough of Pete ready for something new. We're just kind of stuck though. So while I completely agree, Pete sucks. Clearly doesn't he's got no answers. While that may be the case, I just don't see it happening. So let's try to find a solution that's actually feasible. There's nothing that drives me crazy more than Seahawks fans who want to try to propose fixing something by doing something that cannot be done. Like I got a comment a little earlier tonight that said we need to trade DK Metcalf. And I'm not going to respond to the guy because it's a waste of my time, but I'm thinking in my head, like, just go to Spotrac, open up DK Metcalf's contract page, look at the dead cap hit for if we trade him, and then come back here and apologize to me for wasting my time with your comment. Like, even if you were correct in saying that Metcalf is a problem, which I don't think that he is, he's one of the few things on this team that is working right now. Even if you were right, it cannot be done. So don't waste my time. I've had people say we need to trade Tyler Lockett. I've seen people say, we need to, do all these other different things. And it's like, whatever you propose, just try to come up with something that can actually be done. I hope Bo Melton gets a look. That would not be a bad idea, Michael. I could get behind that. I like Bo, theoretically. He might not be ready, though. Big Patty Daddy, what did you think of the refs tonight? Early, they were pissing me off, but as the game went on, I think they called it pretty evenly. So I can't really talk about that. Jacob, who do you see us using that Denver pick on? Quarterback or D line? Probably D line. I think that Pete still really likes Geno, and honestly, some of this not so great play from Geno might make him a little bit cheaper. I don't know. It's at least a possibility. I'm not down on Geno really. He didn't play great tonight. He didn't even really play good, but I don't have a big problem with Geno right now. Byron D, thank you for the $1.99. What do you think of Derek Young as our wide receiver 3? We haven't seen enough of him for me to make that determination. He had the nice catch tonight that got called back. Um, I'm a higher on Bo Melton probably, but Derek Young has some interesting skills in his back pocket. Yeah, I know the Geno pick six thing. Oh no, Geno Smith had one should have been turnover against the best defense in the league. See, this is like the problem. This is the problem. We're expecting Geno Smith to be perfect to subsidize the fact that the rest of this team is terrible. It's just like Wilson a few years ago. I see all these comments from people turning on Geno, and it's like we're just asking him to be perfect because everything else on this team doesn't work right now. It's just like Wilson a few years ago. And unlike Wilson, Geno doesn't make any damn money. So I don't know. I'm not into that. I'm not on that wagon. I've said it before, though. I'll say it again. I'm fine with whatever we do with Geno this offseason. We can extend him for big money. We can trade him. I'm fine with both. I think both are totally defensible. But I don't understand the whole turning against Geno thing. Trying to pick nits at him all of a sudden. Geno is aging a little bit, and I like him as a starter. But for the future of the Hawks, do you think Locke behind him can be somewhat of the future after Geno? It's really hard to know. I mean, just because we fixed or got the best out of Geno Doesn't mean we're going to be able to do it with anyone else, but Drew Lock is going to be cheap, so why not? Are you are you going to make coverage and pass rush for Panthers game? I might. No one's going to watch those videos if I make them, Austin. Those videos will get like 400 views, and I don't think anybody's going to get anything about them. I might just say, screw it, I'll do it next week. I got sick at a really unfortunate time. Carson Schroer, something's lacking on the defensive coaching staff. Daryl Taylor jumping off sides at the end of the quarter. Yeah, that made me very unhappy. That was a big no-no. That was something that I was not okay with. Because quite frankly, it was obvious to everyone else in the world they were just doing the hard count. And I look at stuff like that and I wonder, maybe these players are just too stupid to do the things that we need. No, I don't have COVID, Big Patty Daddy. Maybe these players are just too stupid to do the hybrid stuff. Maybe that's the real issue here. Maybe we're not running more wrinkles in our defense because the players are just too dumb. Outside of the offsides, how do you think Taylor played? I think I noticed him in a positive way a couple times, but nothing over the top. I mean, honestly, Brock Purdy gave us an opportunity to get a few sacks in this game. He dropped back. He had like what 30 dropbacks in this game almost. Addison, do you think the Giants will melt down, opening up the 7 seed for us? Well, I had a look at it right before I turned on the stream. I think the big key is we are huge fans of the New York Jets this week. We are big Jets fans this weekend. If the Jets beat the Lions, then I don't mind our chances. Hmm. Mm-mm, mm-mm. If the Jets beat the Lions, then we only need to win 2 of our last 3 to get in. If the Giants lose 3 of their last 4. And I think that's likely the case because the Giants have the Vikings, they have the football team or Commanders or whatever, and they have the Eagles. So that's still possible, but you're then going to have to go beat the Jets, which again, possible, but you're going to have to, I don't know, you're going to have to buy in. You going to see the Cardinal game? I mean, I'm sure I'm going to see it. You gosh, you're aware that Wilson is going to play in that game, right? Have you watched any Broncos games yet this year, Nugash? How they've won almost none of them? I gotta say, I'm seeing this sentiment from an awful lot of Seahawks fans, and I think they all just have like short term memory issues. Every week I hear Seahawks fans say, oh, the Broncos are going to win this game, and then they never do. They never win any game. They've won 3 all year, and yet you guys still think they're like not one of the worst teams in the league. I don't get it. They play this super soft. Newgash, they were down 27 to nothing before halftime. And then they did a bunch of stuff against their prevent defense. Oh, my God. It's like you guys don't watch the games. If Russell plays in that game, he's going to throw like 8 interceptions. He already can't make good decisions as is. If you try to make him play with a concussion, he's going to have like he's really going to throw like 8 interceptions. I really believe that. Until we are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, I'm going to continue to hope we do make the playoffs because I want some of these players to get playoff experience. But as we get closer to it and it becomes more clear, becomes more obvious that that may not be in the cards. I will say, though, if we win two of our last three, if we beat the Jets and we beat the Rams, the odds are still in our favor, but we don't control our own destiny anymore. So that is an unfortunate situation to be given where we were a month and a half ago. But this is still the good timeline, right? This is still the happy path. There's a timeline where Pete gets his way. We keep Wilson, give him $250 million, and we currently have 3 wins right now. Or we don't extend him, force him to prove it, and we have 3 wins right now, and we're planning on dumping Wilson for like a 5th round pick in the offseason. And there's no Charles Cross, there's no Boye Mafe. So this is the good timeline, guys. There's a timeline where we still have Wilson making top 5 money for bottom 5 play. The fact that we are not in that timeline right now is a huge win. That's possible, Austin, yeah. Yeah, Mafe needs to play more, I agree. It seems like Carroll's just fallen in love with his veterans that he's familiar with, like Irvin. It's I don't know what it is. I know Irvin's playing fairly well, but Irvin's also probably exhausted at this point. Who do you prefer to draft, Will Anderson or Jalen Carter? Wow. That's the question, ain't it? I mean, that's a question I'm going to get asked way too much over the next few months. I still think Will Anderson's probably a better player. Maybe we need Jalen Carter more. I'm fine either way, honestly. Yeah, I have zero interest in rooting for the team to lose. I think that's for booger eaters. If you get to the end of the season and your team is like 2-13 and they need to lose 2 more games to secure the number 1 seed and there's some player you really like, then I get it. Then okay, rooting for the team to lose makes a little bit of sense. But short of that, no. I don't get that. Such a loser mentality. With Diggs seemingly regressing and Neal balling out, what do you think about cutting Diggs, use his money to resign Neal for a medium deal, draft a rookie high with Jamal being back? At this point, I'm pretty for it. Like, Diggs is still a decent enough player, but man, that was a mistake. That deal was a mistake. And I didn't think it could go this bad. Like, I thought at the very least he would be a playmaker, but he clearly doesn't trust his stuff. When did Lockett break his finger? Near the end of the game. So, Lockett is saying he could come back in 2 weeks. Like, the implication is he might be back for the Jets and he could be back for the Rams. I just don't know if that's a good idea. Lockett is probably going to be here for at least a couple more years. Lockett is a huge part of whatever we do next. We don't need to be messing around with that. If we get the second pick, can we still drop down 3 spots and get the players we want? I think you could drop down 2 spots. I think 3 is too much. I don't want to go below 4, and that's assuming Houston takes Bryce Young. If we somehow pull off this Kansas City game, that changes a lot. Well, duh, yeah. If we beat one of the best teams in the league on the road, then suddenly I'll be like, okay, I guess they got something in the back pocket. Diggs is making business decisions out there. I mean, he's forgotten how to tackle. We know that, right? Do you think we should draft a wide receiver? Like just saying our because our receivers don't seem to get open. Lockett is, I think, the best receiver in the league statistically in getting open, Jordan M. So I think you're tripping. Yeah, I think you're tripping. I saw Abram play a little bit Q Coffee, but he only plays on really obvious rundowns because he sucks in coverage. He can't cover. He's like really bad in coverage. Like people think Jamal Adams is bad in coverage. He's not. Abram is actually bad in coverage, so you don't want to put him out there all the time. Diggs suddenly can't catch. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Used to used to have no problem doing it, man. He's got 15 of those bad boys over the last 3 years since he got here, and yet Miles Adams needs more snaps. I mean, I'm not against it. At this point, Miles Adams, there's no way he's worse than some of these guys you have playing on the defensive line. There's no way he's worse than Quentin Jefferson. What happened to the attitude our defense used to have? I don't know. I think the players are just bad. I think these are just bad players. I saw a lot of three-man fronts today. Yeah, I did too. Which I think the team kind of woke up and realized they have to do that. And it did help. We didn't get run on nearly as much. But straight up, even when you go to the three-man fronts, the players still just are not good. And all you can do is flush them and get new ones. Jordan Babineau said you could tape your broken finger and Lockett can still play. Is that really a good idea though? Like let's think about the what you gain versus what you could lose there. Is there risk involved there? Maybe not. If not, then sure, but let's be careful about this. And remember, Jordan Brooks had a neck injury in this game. Jordan Brooks had a neck injury. So we might not have him for a little while for all we know. Now, I know people are going to say, who cares? Jordan Brooks is terrible, and you're right, but he still plays pretty much every snap. Thank you, Austin. I was thinking about streaming on Twitch after the stream tonight, but I'm not feeling up for it. Well, honestly, Tanner Muse went into the game after Brooks left, and I thought Tanner Muse looked pretty decent. I noticed Tanner Muse in a positive way a few times. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Uh, David Lal. That's the best I can do. This was a game that spun on two plays. This is a game that spun on two plays. It wasn't like the Panthers game where it's just like pound, 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 pound. Just like, there are 40 plays throughout the game where you're just getting pounded on the ground. You're just getting completely pounded. This was, you played competitively, and then you had the Diggs drop and the Homer fumble, and that flipped the game. So that's better than a game like what you had against the Panthers, but it's still a loss. I was surprised CMC didn't run all over us. Yeah, we did okay against CMC. He did okay, but not great. I thought we did fine. Yet we somehow lost that game despite how predictable the Panthers were. Yeah, that's going to be the one that's really hard to get over for I think the rest of the offseason. And even tonight, even though the defense did play better, even though I liked what I saw from the defense a little bit more, there were still a lot of soft zone coverages where we just kind of give Brock Purdy a free 5 yard completion. And I'm thinking to myself, he can't throw the ball more than 10 yards, right? He's got a complete noodle. And you didn't force him to, and you didn't force a challenge on that once the whole game. Addison, are you streaming the KC game still, Brendan? I think I am. Somebody said he was going to give me $100 if I stream the Kansas City game. So assuming that person is still willing to do that, then I guess I'll do it. Yeah. Daniel, the challenge was a timeout. No, that was a good challenge. People kept saying that, but that was a good challenge by Pete. I saw some people on the Discord and Twitter talking about that challenge saying it was bad, but no, it's not. That was a correct challenge. He was going to use a timeout anyway, and the clock, no, the clock stopped. No, I remember because it was 20 seconds before the 2 minute warning, and that's where it was at the next snap. So the clock stops regardless. He was going to use the timeout anyway, so he may as well try a challenge. There's no risk. The clock did not keep running. I noticed that very specifically watching it earlier. So the challenge was fine. He was never going to win it, but he was going to use the timeout anyway. And oh, by the way, Pete actually won a challenge tonight for the first time in like 8 years. I'm over exaggerating, but we haven't won challenges recently. I'll give you 20 for the stream, KC. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I will say this: the guy who said he'd give me $100 if I streamed the Kansas City game did say that if I don't do it, you can ban me from the channel. So I guess he has incentive. We had 2 timeouts, I thought, on that drive. No, we had used one a couple plays prior, or one play prior. Do you think we have relied on our tackles for one-on-ones too much? I thought we should have thrown in more tight end chips or more help in some way. I think we do leave them on islands a little more than we should, but they've mostly held up. Thank you, Be Calm, See Clearly. I appreciate that. Like our tackles have mostly held up, so I'm not upset about it. Remember, we like to use our tight ends a lot in receiving. And clearly we want to use our backs in receiving, we just suck at it. Our defense is missing a lot of things. Physicality is definitely one of them. Can't believe some people actually want us to tank the next 3 games to improve our own draft pick. Yeah, I don't get. Yeah, the tanking stuff is so dumb to me at this point. Like, you can trade up in the draft if there's somebody you really, really like at that point. It's not the most expensive thing in the world at that point. This game made my gym session crazy. Well, that's good, Big Batty. I can appreciate that. At least something good came of it. Do you think Jordan Brooks has had a good year? No, Jordan M. I think he's honestly, given the fact that our run defense is atrocious and that his coverage is terrible, I think he's actually had a bad year. I think he's actually been a bad player this year. 3 more losses is not the end of the world. I understand that, Boris, but there's a difference between acknowledging that, which I do, and actively rooting for it, which is for booger eaters. Especially when there's no guarantee that the losses are going to get you what you want. Like I remember last year, I had Seahawks fans saying, I hope the team loses so we fire Pete. And the team lost, and Pete didn't get fired. And then I was like, okay, cool. You just rooted for your own team to lose, and you got nothing out of it. You think there's a chance against the Chiefs? No, not really. Not in Arrowhead. Say we draft Jalen Carter, beef the defensive line. I like Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett sucks. No, thank you. We can do better. Stetson Bennett has no arm. Woolen got thrown at once, and he was in super soft coverage. It, I wouldn't even put it on his head. He was like 10 yards off, which I doubt he did by choice. We haven't had a respectable pass rush in like 5 years, and people want the Hawks to draft a quarterback. Yeah. I mean, I'm not against the idea of drafting Stroud, but man, it's not fixing what ails us. How much turnover defense we'll have next year? Well, let's think about it. Collier's gone. Poona Ford is gone. Quentin Jefferson's probably gone. Monet's gone. He tore his ACL tonight, by the way. Woods might retire. He's old, but if he wants to come back, that's cool. So let's not say him for a second here. Shelby Harris will be back. Uh, Barton might be gone because he's a free agent. So that's like close to half. It might. I don't know actually, Daniel. That's an interesting question. Like, do we have to pay him more to get him out of here because he tore his ACL? That's possible. By the way, everybody, please like the stream if you haven't already. We've got 133 people in here and 31 likes, so please like if you haven't yet. I wouldn't mind cutting Diggs. I will say this, though. Teams do not hit big plays on the Seahawks, and Diggs is a big reason why. Yes, he's lost a lot of ability, but at least he's still protecting the deep stuff. Thank you, Big Patty. Jamal Adams would help this defense a ton. I think Jamal Adams would make this defense significantly better. Better tackling, better QB pressure, especially on third down. Be calm, see clearly. Thank you for the $5. Depending on the college football playoffs, Stroud might be headed to a top 3 pick. Somebody going to rise to the occasion, and I want to know who. Well, Stroud's probably going to be a top 3 pick regardless. In fact, I think he's a top 2 pick. Isn't it because they don't need the big plays? I doubt they would turn down the big plays if they were there. Barton is playing kind of okay. Caleb, but he's bad against the run, so it's kind of a non-starter. It's just kind of dead on arrival. Some people are saying that Lockett could play through the injury because it's he could tape it up, but I would wonder what the risk is concerning something like that. Thoughts on Geno Smith today? He played okay. Not good or anything, but I don't put this one on him really. It just kind of was like eh, you know. That's how I would put Geno in this game. Should we draft a center? I like the draft in this center class way more than the free agency class. Be calm, see clearly. Thank you for the $5. I'm from Columbus. Stroud has weaknesses that Russ didn't for a long time. Oh, Stroud definitely has weaknesses. Who doesn't? Everybody has weaknesses. You work with the weaknesses that the player has, and you try to build an offense around their strengths. So I'm not really worried about that. Be calm, see clearly. Like at the end of the day, it's your job as an offensive guru, offensive coordinator, offensive coach, or whatever to understand the limitations of your players and find enough things that they can do well. Stroud has an amazing arm. That's enough for me. Yeah, AJ, I'm sick. I am going to go to bed soon. Like 20 minutes. What are Seahawks playoff chances realistically? Probably a little less than 50%. Unfortunately, with Lockett out now, maybe it's more like 35. Geno only had one touchdown. You did not play good. That's not the only consideration. But yeah, he didn't play good. I didn't say he played good. He played kind of just like he, the meme, the Morbius meme, where people are like, Morbius is one of the movies that I've seen in my life. That was like what this game was. Geno Smith's game tonight was one of the games that I've seen Geno play. Red Zone stream on Sunday? Probably not. Because I'm probably going to be doing a lot of streaming in the coming weeks. Because I already said I was going to stream the Rams Broncos game, which I do think I'm going to do. Let me check some stuff here real quick. Okay, so this week, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Let's see. So let me check week 16 here. I'm going to do on Saturday Seahawks Chiefs. I'm going to do a live stream of Seahawks Chiefs. And then the next day, I'm going to do a stream of Broncos Rams. And then a few days later, I'm going to do the Alamo Bowl. So I have a lot of streaming coming up, so I don't want to add another one. Time for DK and Goodwin to step up even more. I mean, if there's any part of this team where things are actually going pretty good and you can afford to have some guys step up, I guess it would be there. Brooks is a run stopper. We need to replace Cody for a pass coverage linebacker. Okay, Brooks is a run stopper, and we have a historically bad run defense. Like, something smells. Okay, like, you're going to have to combine those two facts into something that makes logical sense here. We have one of the worst run defenses of all time. Genuinely, our run defense is, I believe, the worst in a couple decades. What players would you keep after this year in the front seven? Nwosu. You may as well keep Taylor. Mafe, of course. Brooks is going to be under contract, so you may as well keep him. But if you extend him, so help me God. And that's about it. Can't just blame Brooks. Oh, I know. But it's like the Wilson thing. Okay? The Broncos have the worst offense in the league. And you can't just blame Wilson for that. But you can't absolve him of it either. What about Harris for next year? Yeah, Shelby Harris will be here next year. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, Woods and Harris can come back unless Woods retires, which he might decide to do. I'm thinking, is there anyone else? Not really. I love Trenton Simpson, Road Choppa. I think he could fit. Great athlete. What wins and losses would help us this week? I'll upload the video tomorrow. Do you think we should extend Goodwin? I mean, we need to be careful with that because he is injury prone. But I'm not against it. I don't have a problem with it. Why are you streaming Rams versus Broncos? Because it's the toilet bowl. It may end up being the game that decides whether or not we pick 2 or 3. We'll see what happens this weekend with the Broncos against the Cardinals, but Rams Broncos is like the ultimate toilet bowl, and it determines probably where our pick is going to be. What are you talking about, Austin? I'm not going to be sick by then. If I'm still sick in 9 days, then I'm going to be in the hospital. Or 10 days. If I'm still sick in 9 or 10 days when that game is played, then I probably will have long since died. Oh yeah, Robinson. You could keep Robinson because he's still on his rookie deal, but it's not a big deal either way. No, I'll do a video tomorrow. At least one. Honestly, I'm probably at the point now where I should start coming out of it. Like this morning and yesterday morning, I didn't even want to move. Like moving hurt. Why don't we keep Puna? I don't think he's a good fit for our defense. He doesn't fit in well with what we're doing on defense right now. He was a good fit to play one tech in a 4-3. Rooting for the Cardinals and Rams is going to be hard. Too bad Kyler's. Well, honestly, against the Broncos defense, Colt McCoy might be better than Kyler. I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't even matter, though, because Russ is going to force himself to play through a concussion like an idiot, and he's going to throw like 8 interceptions. So it doesn't even matter who the quarterback is for Arizona. Now, Puna is a pretty good player. He just is only good in one particular role. He was a good one tech. On this defense, he's just not very good. Apparently, Russell's going to play. And, I mean, it's not surprising, right? Like, Russell Wilson is the kind of guy who thinks doing, earning his money is forcing himself to play when he can't play. Instead of putting himself in a state where he can actually play. Right? Like, he thinks it'll endear himself to the Denver fans if he throws himself out there with his brain not working right. And it'll make them love him. And it'll make them think, oh, wow, he's really out there earning his money if he goes out there and sucks because his brain doesn't work. When in reality, the only thing he can do that can make Broncos fans love him is to sit out the rest of the year, figure out how to read a defense in the offseason, and then come back next year and start winning games. Well, Puna and Collier are both free agents, so you're not going to trade them, Aurora. Let me just start right there. And Monet just tore his ACL, so you're not trading him either. Just so turn the crank it back a little bit. It really does remind me the Russell thing I was talking about last year when he broke it when he busted his finger and he didn't want to leave the game, so he just went out there and he didn't throw the ball. He like literally just stood there and waited to get sacked because he couldn't throw the ball because his finger was messed up. And to him, that's helping the team by being out there on the field. No, the way you help your team is you sit down, let somebody who can throw the ball go in, and then you get better. I don't have any animosity against him either, Addison. It's not personal when I say these things. It's not personal. It's just me observing. And these things are so much easier to observe when his team is terrible and losing and he's not producing. Can you make a video about our cap and possible draft and free agent signings to solve the front seven? I'm going to make 100 videos about that stuff, Boris. You just wait until the off season. I'm going to make 100 videos about that stuff. That's all I'm going to be doing on this channel, I think, Boris. Unless we get a basketball team. Yeah, I saw Frazier signed with the Orioles. Ugh. I had so many weird fever dreams last night that felt like real life, that really felt just real enough to where I thought it was real. I mean, I don't have a fever, but they were like fever dreams. And they were very mundane and dull things, but there was still stuff was just not right enough. Jefferson has no trade value. Barton is a free agent. You could get maybe like a 6th round pick for Brooks, I guess, but he looks so bad these last 2 years in some areas, probably not. If you had to pick, would you go with Jalen Carter or Will Anderson if we have the 2 pick? I think people have talked me into Jalen Carter, but I'm happy either way. Here's the other thing, by the way. If Wilson plays this week and gets another concussion, two in a week, he might retire. Like at that point, does he just like retire? Be calm, see clearly. Thank you for the $2. You are funding this stream, my friend. Thank you very much. So where did Russ go wrong in Seattle to start? Where did Russ go wrong in Seattle to start? That's hard to exactly trace through. Maybe it was in 2016 when he got injured in week one and tried to play through it for half a year. And that derailed what I thought was turning into a really, really special player because he had played so well to end the season the previous year. Yeah, I mean, you may as well keep Brooks. You have him for another cheap year, but I'm not expecting a ton right now. Jason Tudor, thank you for the $5. No question. Just thanks for all the hard work and go Hawks. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. Carter and Murphy in the first. I don't think you can get both, Jorge. Murphy might be the fifth best player in this draft. Who do you want gone after this season? I mean, a lot of people. I don't know where to start with that one. Do you think Denver would be happy if he retired? No. No. If he retires because of concussions, then he gets paid. He gets his money. And Denver's on the hook for over $100 million easily. Honestly, I think Barton was a really good special teamer. I'd be totally fine if he was here as a special teamer. Rasheem Green doesn't fit our new defense. Kerry Hyder, we probably should have kept. Well, agree with that. I'm not sure swiftly. Let's see if I can figure this out here real quick. That is true, Addison. Here's my question. How is he sitting on the practice squad for this long while you were trying to figure out kick returner crap? They are on the hook, but does it count for the cap? I think so, Newgosh. I think so. Because Cam Chancellor counted against our cap after he got hurt. John tells you to let go three guys on the defense. Uh, probably has to be probably three guys on the defensive line. Monet, Hugh Jeff. And honestly, I might go Taylor just because I'm really pissed at him right now. I'm really not happy with him right now. Daniel Bailey, thank you for the $5. Do you think we still make the playoffs? If not, which pick do you think we'll land on? Hope you feel better soon. Go Hawks. As of right now, I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. It's hard to believe this team is going to do anything positive because all the things that were making them click for a month are gone. As for what pick we get, let's see here. Probably going to be somewhere around 11. Well, yeah, Collier is a free agent, though, so he's going to be gone regardless. I really need to get a $5 tip special animation. Because everyone tips like $5. Right now, the special tips and super chats are 7, 9, and 10. I need a $5 one. I guess I could just go like Jason Myers, right? You need to change to 4-3. Well, whatever we do, we got to get the right personnel for it. Feels like we don't have the right personnel. Well, right now we don't have the right personnel to run any defense because these defensive line players are just bad. But I don't know. I mean, again, like tonight, the defense was not that bad. The run defense did improve. I recognize that, but overall, it's still an abomination. Dan Dan Quinn won't come back as a defensive coordinator. He's going to want a head coaching job. How am I producing this much snot? Yeah, Dan Quinn might get a. He might become the head coach in Denver, actually, which I think would be stupid, but that might be the best they can do. Do you think Pete tries to bring Irvin back next year? I'm sure he'll try, but Irvin's indicated he wants to retire, and I don't blame him. He's already kind of running out of gas. We're playing him way too much. Yeah, I thought both tackles held up admirably. They didn't play perfectly, but they tried. I give them credit. Sign Yannick in free agency. I like Yannick. Does I think he would fit a 4-3 better, so you can only do that if you're switching back, but I've always liked Yannick. I would be all over that as a general principle thing. Uh, I really hope over the next few games Damian Lewis plays really well so I can feel good about him going into the offseason. If he continues to play like inconsistently, I'm not going to know how to feel. Ao's not even on the team anymore, or in fact, he might be a free agent. He might do that swiftly. That's possible, but that doesn't mean we're going to win. Not at all. Also, what is Chris Jones going to do against our interior offensive line? So, the Vikings play the Colts, the Giants, and the Packers. If they win all of those games, they'll be 13-3. They'll have the division well locked up. But will they have the second seed locked up? Only if the Niners lose a couple games. Damn, okay. That makes things a little bit shaky. If we have the second pick and the 11th pick, who do you draft? I'd trade down 2 spots with the number 2 pick, pick up a second rounder, and then I take whoever's left, probably at that point, either Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, whoever's left behind by the Bears. And with the 11th pick, I might trade down a little bit again and get Trenton Simpson. Something like that. I don't know. There are a lot of different paths you can go that I think are fine. Javon Hargrave at free agency. I'm more of a Deron Payne guy. We have some cap room, Madison. Not a ton. Oh my god, I'm clogged up. All right, guys. That's been about an hour. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I'm gonna get a video recorded to upload in the morning, and then I'm going to bed. So thanks for hanging out. Bad result tonight, but we continue on. Peace out, Go Hawks. Thanks to everybody who donated and supported in particular. Thanks for hanging out, and hopefully we can make something of the rest of this season. See y'all soon.